YouTube, this is Felicia with Bible Scraps or Journal Scraps, depending on the channel you are watching, and I am here with an exciting series using my laminator. Okay, so I began this series several years ago, only shared several videos, but I am back to pick up where I left off, and I am super excited about this series because I'm taking the heat machine to a new level, and I'm excited about that. In this series, well, it's really fun because I bring a unique, no glue, no iron, no fuss system using a heat layering method to create beautiful art collages and mixed media scrap textiles that you can use in all of your crafty projects. But as excited as I am, I must give a disclaimer. The laminator was not intended to use it in the way I am using it. So if you decide to adopt my system, please proceed with caution and common sense. I shared an initial video. Please watch it in its entirety. I talk about problems you could encounter. I offer solutions. I also offer tips. I also shared a video on making a custom sandwich to use in your machine. If you are interested in how I constructed that sandwich and what I used, please check that video out. Now, do know, depending on the machine that you use, your sandwich, and what you fuse, your results will vary. You might not get good results. Hey, you can damage your machine, and by using my method, you might void the warranty. But I have had great results. So this series is all about making what I call Fusible SACs, which is a fusible scrap art collage quilt. If you don't know what that is, well, let me show you, because in this video, we will make this. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you what you can expect if you use a sandwich that's too thick for the machine that I'm using in this video, which is the Amazon Basics, their 13-inch machine. Keep in mind, once again, that your results are contingent upon the type of machine you use, the sandwich you use, and the elements that you fuse. To get started, I'm using the Amazon Basics 13-inch machine, and I have a piece of recycled fabric, and I have my heat and bond, or lay my fabric on top of my heat and bond and sandwich it between my liners and send it through. And I have my machine set at 5 millimeters. There's two heat settings, 3 millimeter and 5 millimeter. Remove the liner, but you want to have your adhesive facing up. And so now we have the foundation of our SAC. So we can begin to arrange our components. This is my focal point. Put that wherever you like, and take your larger elements and place those where you would like. I have this piece here. Now, I would normally start with a paper napkin, and I don't have it with me. So the next layer, I'll add my paper napkins. So you can cut down some fabric, and you can cut them down to the size of your liking. And I'll add this right here. And then we'll fuse this. Now, if you have not seen my video on making a custom sandwich, you do want to check it out. You also want to check out my initial video. It's very important that you watch that video because you might encounter problems, and I do talk about problems and solutions, and I offer tips in that initial video. So please watch it in its entirety. So I have my machine set on 5 millimeters, and once it's cooled down, and you could see here that the adhesive, the exposed adhesive, it's stuck to my liner. But it peels back really easy. I have to trim that off. Okay, and so this is how our first fused layer looks. So you can continue to add Anything that you use, well, I shouldn't say anything. A lot of scrapbooking and paper crafting elements can be used with this method. So I have the top layer of a napkin, and I'm going to lay that down any size you like. And I usually add my paper napkins down first. But as you can see here, you can add it after. And then I have some twine I'm going to add just at random. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it. You can go over your SAC. And let's see, what else do I want to add? I have these little metal letters and numbers. I'll just at random add those. And I have this metal tag. So I do want this to touch the adhesive. So I'm going to put it underneath this napkin. And let's fuse this. Okay, did you guys hear that? You heard that noise? That means my sandwich was thick. Now, I did not have to assist my sandwich and roll it through. It did go through, but do you know what caused that noise? What made my sandwich too thick? Well, it was this metal piece here. It's a thin piece, and you know what? I probably have to fuse that again because that's coming up. So I will send this through again. But it's the metal piece that caused the noise. I will work with different machines. They all work differently. So you'll see that in the series. But you do not want to have a sandwich that's too thick. Okay, I'm going to continue to layer. I'm going to add some crinkly paper. This is the first time I've done that. Curious to see how that's going to look. And I probably should have added crinkly paper before I added some of these larger elements, but nonetheless, going to see how it's going to turn out. And I'm also going to add some sequins. So let's just sprinkle some sequins. Now all of them won't fuse. It kind of depends on where it lands. It's all about serendipity. Okay, and then I want to add some washi tape. And I'll tear this down into smaller pieces. Now, washi tape does have adhesive on it, but the heat will make it bind, in my opinion, a little better. So sporadically add that about, and let's go ahead and fuse this just the way it is. Okay, so unfortunately I did not have this on video, but this sandwich was way too thick. So you do not want to add your crinkly paper, not with this machine. You will see with another machine, you can do more with it. But for the Amazon Basics, you want to keep your sandwich as flat as possible. So this is cooled for a second, and this is how it looks. And I have my exposed adhesive. That's what you see here. Easily comes off, but this is how it looks. And I do like how the crinkly paper looks. So several sequins have fallen off, but most of them have. It's fused. We are getting some serious, much needed rain. I love the sound of raindrops. Okay, so the last element I will add is embossing powder. If you're like me, you have a lot of this stuff. This is by Tim Holtz. I love the color and the texture that the embossing powders yield. And as this series progresses, you will see the many different things you can layer with your heat machine, and you'll see the different effects it gives. And my metal tag it fused with this last roll through. Now I'm going to use my liner from the Heat and Bond and layer it on top to protect my top mat. And let's use it. It's making a noise, but it's still rolling through by itself. So it's still going through. This is a thicker sandwich. I'm showing this because if your sandwich is too thick, I want you to know what to do. So if I feel like it's stuck, I'll just help pull it through. There is a reverse lever, but I like to just help roll it through. And it's making that noise because this sandwich is too thick. Once again, from my metal tag and also from the crinkly paper. Okay, so let's take a look at our the final results. Peel back the top liner. It comes right off. And you can see that there's the embossing powder. Okay. Let's shake it. A little bit of powder comes off, but do you see the embossing powder? It's fused in this collage, and I do like how this turned out. Okay, so be on the lookout for my next video. I will be using different machines. I will be incorporating different elements and different techniques. But I am very pleased with my SAC. I do want to point out as well, if I want to, I can come back and continue to layer as long as I'm able to get my sandwich through my heat machine. I do see exposed adhesive. I mean, it looks great just the way it is, but I can come back and add napkins, washi tape. I can add fabric to cover that up if I like. But as of now, I'm pleased with this. Well, if you have enjoyed my creativity, why not give me a thumbs up, like this video. Also subscribe because I have more cool techniques coming your way. Feel free to adopt any of my ideas. I only ask for proper credit. Do give shout outs and do link back to this video. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. As always, blessings.